Who were you before you lost your wild self?
That's what we're helping you explore on the TendHER Wild podcast.
Through questions and tools around how best to listen to your inner voice,
rewild ourselves, and live the most authentic life where we thrive instead of survive.
I'm Betsy.
And I'm Kate.
And we're so glad you've joined us for this episode.
Hello, TendHER Wild podcast listeners. Today's episode, we are here with a special guest, Dani Worrell. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Dani, but Dani, welcome. We're so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
We've just had a beautiful moment together of grounding, and you're going to hear why, but I can feel the connection already in this room, so it's really beautiful. Dani is the founder of Practical Alignment, where intuition meets organization, literally. As an intuitive medium, professional organizer, and certified yoga teacher, she helps people clear clutter, not just from their homes, but from their heads and hearts too. A proud wife and mom, she recently celebrated 1 full year of being glorious corporate-free. Oh, I know how that feels. And has been thriving ever since, building a soul-aligned business from the ground up. Originally from sunny Phoenix, Arizona, she now lives in North Liberty, Iowa, yes, on purpose, and has called it home for nearly 11 years. Whether she's reading energy or labeling bins, she brings grounded guidance, practical magic, and just the right amount of woo to every space she enters. I love that bio. And that's so true about you.
Oh, thank you so much.
So welcome. And I want to say that I first met you, I'd heard your name, but I first got to meet you in a very intimate setting over the Christmas holiday when you did some readings at a party I was at.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now
yes.
you're talking about this.
And it was life-changing for me that night. And it was an experience that I've had maybe 1 or 2 other readings, but this one was like nothing I'd ever experienced. And so since then I've been following you, your work, and I told Betsy about you, and we just kind of kept running into each other too.
Yeah.
And you've been at some of our events, and you have been in our orbit. And so to finally have you in here today to get to know you even better and learn about the work you're doing in the world is very special. So
thank you. Gosh. Thank you so much. So much. It's super wild. So I wanted to share with you, I came in today and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to be very present today and be grounded. And it's, I think, something in the front part of my mind, because I manifested being here with you too about 3.5 years ago.
Wow.
Really?
Tell us.
Listening to the podcast. So first of all, this podcast changed my life. It saved my life. It was the thing there for me when my world was completely falling apart. And I made it kind of part of my therapy to listen every day and listen to different episodes. And through these stories that I heard, it gave me strength and it gave me knowing that, what I was going through was not going to be the end. In fact, it was the beginning of my story. And a story that I'd struggled for so many years to even figure out what it was. And there was an episode, and I, of course, am going to forget her name, but she was the sister-in-law of the gal who owns Little Lights on the Lane. And she lives in Denmark.
Christina.
Thank you.
Yeah. Christina.
Her episode, it is just burned into my brain. And I remember being at my kitchen sink, doing dishes, and just sobbing. Because for the first time, I was like, I'm living my story right now. And I remember saying to myself, I'm going to tell my story on this podcast one day.
Oh my God, I have chills.
And here I am.
Wow.
So it's a very magical day, and to just be living an actual manifestation is
No,
Yes.
sister, that's big.
wild.
Well, and Dani, I have to tell you, you walked in and I was like, I know you. And you're like, well, I've been to a couple of the TendHER events, but I didn't say it in that moment. It feels deeper than that. Like I know you somehow. Like I'm like, how do I know this person? I
Yeah.
feel like I must know her somehow. And so just even that short story, I'm so excited where we're going to go today.
Me too.
The connections we're going to make. So
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah.
speaking that.
Oh, thank you. I'm
That
excited.
means a lot. Sometimes we don't really know the ripple. And so to have that
Mm-hmm.
confirmation that it's out there and helping people and as well as us in our journeys.
Saving our
Yeah.
Yeah.
asses as well. That's what I wanted to say. I'm like, I'm not going to.
Well, and that, we'll get into your story, but being able to now 3.5 years later, tell it from a place of, the scars versus the open wound
Yes.
that day at your sink
Mm-hmm.
is really going to inspire others too.
Yeah.
I hope so.
So
That's my goal. I know I'm here on earth to help people. And for years I struggled and how can I help people? And so finding this avenue has it's just blown things wide open. And my one goal for anything is with today, if this reaches one person and it does something for them, then
It's worth it.
I am so happy.
I have a feeling it's going to reach more than one
yeah,
person.
me
hope so.
too. Me too.
Well, Dani, if you've listened to a lot of our podcasts, you know question number one.
do.
And tell us about that first decade where you were raised.
Yeah.
And what's the through line for you in terms of where you're living now?
So I was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, Phoenix, Scottsdale area. My childhood was amazing. I mean, truly, it really was. I'm an only child. So my parents and I, it was just the three of us, and we are still super, super close. They actually moved to Iowa after we had our daughter. So they've been here for about 8 years now. But my parents were wonderful, and, they both worked. And so my grandmother, watched over me quite a bit. And she loved me very much, but she's very, old school depression era. She was much older. So, there's some things there that definitely impacted me that I've really been kind of uncovering within the last decade. But yeah, I mean, my childhood was great. Like I had great friends. My family was wonderful. But it in no way was perfect, right?
Yeah, it never is.
No.
Yeah. I grew up going to Catholic school, which I very lovingly and respectfully refer to myself as a recovering Catholic.
Yep. Me too. We talked about that.
We talked about it.
Yeah, there's a club.
We're starting a club. So, kind of that conditioning with the Catholic Church, and then also having my grandmother be very prevalent in my life, it really shut things down early for me in terms of my intuition.
Yeah.
I
can
remember,
relate to that as well.
Yeah. I remember being younger, and there was a man in the back of the house that I would talk to, and it was my grandfather. He passed before I was born. And I just remember going out to my grandma one day and telling her about him, and her famous line was, "Oh, don't be silly. Don't be silly." And shut it down.
Yep.
That's what you connected your intuition to, was silliness.
Or you're wrong. That's, no. So that was kind of my first, like, oh, okay. And then, it got further and further. I remember, and I think I was in 5th grade, maybe 5th or 6th grade. We had this religion teacher, and she told me that I was going to hell because I think I'd asked a question about the Ouija board, and I told her, "Oh, I played it this weekend," and she just straight up was like, "You're going to hell." And I was like, "Whew, I'm 11. Okay."
What a message.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was also around that time I was like, yeah, I'm done with this.
So already at about 11, you kind of knew this.
You checked out of it.
Basically, yeah. After like
Took us a lot longer than that, didn't it, Kate?
after sixth grade, I just remember like begging my parents, like, please don't, I don't want to go here anymore. Like, I want to go to a public school. And but it was very important to my grandma that I go to Catholic school. So finished that out, and then I broke free. I was like one of the only kids in my class to go to a public high school. Everyone else, filtered to the other Catholic high schools. So I
What
broke out, baby.
what did that mean for you? Did it really feel like a different experience, that educational shift?
Um, it felt like more freedom to me. I went to a great high school. Um, and we were kind of always compared to the Catholic high school, like we were like the public version of
Mm.
them. Um, so I think the education was great, but there was definitely more freedom and
Yeah.
being able to be myself, figure out who I am.
Yeah.
But it was quite the experience because I mean, I was in this class of 60 people from 5 years old to 13,
Yeah.
14. And then I was the only one
With the courage to say, this
to
isn't for
make that
me.
my thing.
Hmm.
So then I went off and I went to a new high school. I knew absolutely no one. Started telling people my name was Dani, and the rest is history.
What was your
I went by Danielle.
Ah, so there was also a
Yes,
name shift.
I did.
Beautiful.
I did.
and you did share with us because we commented on your beautiful necklace that you're wearing today.
Thank you.
Who also went to your high school?
Linda Carter.
And she's wearing a Wonder Woman necklace.
A Wonder
Danny
Woman
is today.
necklace.
Mhm.
Also, Steven Spielberg did a short stint. He was, I guess, horribly bullied, and so he did not stay there. But he did design the spaceship of First Encounters of the First
Yeah,
Kind or whatever off of the library building at our high school.
No way.
That's fascinating. So you were
Interesting.
in the realm of some very influential
Yes, yes.
people in that high
Mhm.
school.
Yeah. And well, I'm so curious. I got to go back because you clearly had intuitive gifts. You were feeling and talking to your grandfather. I also had a experience. I was maybe second or third grade, and there was a woman that always sat at the end of my bed, and she wore a burgundy suit. I don't know who she was, if she was just someone passing through, but again, got shut down in my, experience growing up.
Spirit.
So, when did you come back around to your gifts of intuition? And maybe there's some stories that have to come before that. So I don't,
Yeah.
you graduated from high school, but I really want to know about these early latent gifts that then get shut down by perhaps Catholicism, perhaps, people in your life, well-meaning people in your life,
Yeah.
and then how you come back around to them.
Yeah. It's funny. I feel like looking back now, I can actually say like, oh, this was how that happened.
Yeah.
But it was very recent. I would say within the last, 4 to 5 years, I was truly able to kind of uncover these memories
Yeah.
and really, I had this really powerful meditation experience, and it was a visualization meditation. And in this, it was like I'm speechless because it was just one of the most powerful experiences I've ever felt in my life. And it was my heart being like sewn back together with gold and just this overwhelming feeling of love and forgiveness. And in that, I visualized kind of like a steel plate being finally removed off my third eye.
Oh,
wow.
And, I've always been told by psychics, you have this gift. And I've always been so intrigued by it. I went to a palm reader when I was 10 at Universal Studios, and I loved it. And then I was always the girl playing, witch in the backyard and making potions and buying astrological books at 10, 11 years old at the used bookstore because I was just fascinated by it.
All things metaphysics.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All things metaphysics. And throughout the years, I just always found myself going back to that sort of guidance when I felt like I didn't know what to do with my life. In high school, I went because I was like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I going to go to school? These big life things where, I feel like we always are going to the outside to try to find that answers.
You went
and
in.
You have to go in for that, right?
Yeah.
So I finally went in, and it was completely life-changing.
Mm.
And, it just opened me up to, yeah, I do have these abilities and it's not crazy
Mm-mm.
and it's amazing and I can help people with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, holy shit, here's my ticket. Like, I can help people. Like,
Yeah.
it's this. And this isn't, just something that, I don't know, it's not a pill that you can take. It's something deeper.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's something lasting
Yeah.
that I can make a lasting impact with
Yeah.
somebody.
And
Oh,
I've
yeah.
always learned that that we actually all have psychic, intuitive capacities, sort of like everyone can sing. We can all sing
Yeah.
happy birthday. Not everyone has the voice of Whitney Houston. And so it's sort of the same with psychic gifts. Like everybody's psychic, everybody's intuitive. We can all get better. We could all take voice lessons. But there are certain people that just really have a certain capacity to allow these energies to come through. And that often it runs familial, like there's a familial line.
Yeah.
So do you know family members that had these gifts?
So I know my mom will never listen to this and I won't let her because she's so
Our moms don't listen either.
My mom is very intuitive.
Yeah.
Very, very intuitive. So I really think that this is probably linked through her side of the family.
Through the maternal side.
Mm-hmm. I really
And was it
do.
her mother that you lived with?
No.
It was your dad's
dad's
mother,
side.
the
Mhm.
Catholic side. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
So she's private, but is she supportive that you
very.
tapped into this? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Both of my parents are very supportive. My mom's like, what do you mean my daughter's a psychic? Like, what? I'm like, oh, surprise. I love you. It's my little coming out.
So you kind of referenced in the beginning that you went through some hard things several years ago, but are there other moments in your life that have kind of built up to this knowing that you have about your abilities, or experiences that have shifted you, that maybe kind of cracked that opening for you?
Yeah.
That you're willing to share?
I feel like really it was kind of this big major event that happened that really, it broke the box.
Yeah.
I had for so long, been trying to find my place in the world and figure out where I belonged career-wise. And I had built this beautiful life and packed it in my pretty little box. And then the box collapsed.
Mm.
And, when you are left with, sitting in the ashes of what was your life, it really forces you to reevaluate.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it happened for me. And I think too that, I very much believe everything happens for a reason. And so now I'm very grateful in the fact that I can look back and say, my God, this was one of the greatest blessings of my life. And just to kind of throw some context in there, I almost lost my husband 3.5, 4 years ago to alcoholism. He was battling liver failure, and it was a very scary time. And my world burned down.
Yep.
But through all of that, I was able to, dig through the ashes and find these beautiful gems that were actually laying there that I had never noticed before.
Hi, I'm Sam, founder of the Local Hub. When I moved to Iowa City, I felt like a tourist, and I'm sure you can relate if you've ever moved somewhere new or just haven't explored your city in years. Supporting local has never been more important, and the Local Hub makes it simple. It's a community-first way to uncover the local businesses, events, and hidden spots that make an area feel like home. If you're in the Iowa City area, you'll find us online, in print, and on social media, all designed to keep you in the loop about what's happening here. Visit thelocalhub-ic.com and start living like a local.
So tell us about the pretty box that you were living in, because that's the heart of this podcast and rewilding, is that we all create these boxes and they work really well for a period of time, and then something just doesn't work anymore, and then the wild woman comes in, the archetype, and is like, oh, and we need to bust you out of this. So what I would love to hear is that beautiful box that you had created,
Mhm.
career-wise, family-wise, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then when the knowing came to you of like, oh, this box isn't working anymore.
Yeah. I just feel like part of it is how, we were raised. I've got to be the good girl. I've got to do what I'm told. I'm a woman, so I need to go to college and I need to get married and have a family and, find a corporate job that I'm going to work at for the next 50 years of my life. And
Get a good 401k
yeah,
and good
You will
insurance.
be happy.
yes, and everything will be perfect and your white picket fence and, um, so I struggled with all of that, especially when we moved here. So, my husband and I met in Phoenix. He was going to culinary school, and we were there for 4 or 5 years before we decided to move back to his hometown
Which was
in
Iowa.
Iowa City.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so we came here, and I knew no one. I didn't have a job lined up. Like I just was like, we're gonna go on adventure. I've never left home. Like I was ready for it. I was very excited. But I think I was maybe a little naive on how hard it was actually going to be because it's one of the hardest things I've ever done is leaving my home.
And it sounds like you came from this really tight-knit family
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
leaving that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was very, very hard. The first 2, 3 years were very difficult. But I think it allowed me so much growth and really figuring out like I'm not a codependent person, because having that tight knit family and friends is great until you realize like, oh shit, I rely on people for a lot.
Yeah.
Go
Like who am
do
I?
this all
Who
now.
am I
Yeah.
on my own?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really
Ending.
Yeah.
big
So,
moment.
so that was, a roller coaster, but I think good. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So my background career-wise is in medical cannabis. And so I was one of the first bud tenders in Arizona when that program
No
started.
way.
Yeah.
Like growing it. What's a bud
Growing-
tender? Tell me what a
Bud
bud
tender.
tender is.
So I was the very
Not a
friendly,
bartender, a bud tender.
close enough, right? So I was the friendly face that would help you pick out your medicine.
Oh, when you go into the shop, you
yeah.
would be behind a counter and you would
Yep.
explain everything.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, and I loved that. I mean, that was like, oh my God, I finally found it. This is my career. It's not normal and it's edgy and like,
Yeah.
yes, all right. But it's still like corporate enough. Like I have insurance and I got all these things I'm supposed to have with it. So like game on. Then we decided to move. So,
And it's not legal in Iowa.
and at that time it was not legal. So I basically had to hang that up and be like, all right, well,
What else
what's
is next?
now what? So, just from talking to people around town, it was like, okay, you either want to work at the university or at University of Iowa Community Credit Union, which is now Green State. So I went to Green State, which is now Green State, and I was there for 5 years,
In the
almost
banking
6.
world.
In the
Yeah.
banking world.
Corporate as it gets.
Yep, couldn't be further away from me.
Or bud tending.
or attendant. Yes, yes. And I'll never forget, I remember they took us out to lunch, like all the new hires, and it was with the CEO and, the head of HR, and we're at this very fancy lunch. And, he kind of looks at me and he goes, I've heard some things about you. And what was your last job? And I just looked him dead in the eye and I was like, oh, I just sold weed on the corner of the street. And he was like, oh God, who have we hired?
We got a hot one here.
We got a
folks.
hot one. But so fast forward, COVID hits, all these things are crazy. My career with them ended and I was trying to find my way. I dabbled in insurance for a hot minute. Definitely wasn't my thing. And then I got a phone call from a friend who I worked with at the credit union. And I had not talked to her in years at that point. And she said, hey, my friends are opening a medical dispensary in Iowa City. And I told them about you. You should apply for the job. So I applied and I got it. And over the course of a couple years, I worked my way up and ended managing the entire dispensary. I was the first female dispensary manager in the state of Iowa.
Cool.
And so it was really cool. It was like, oh, I came to a state where this didn't even exist, and now
And look at
I'm
doing
back.
this.
Like,
Running.
I'm back and
Okay.
I'm running it. So I was like, oh my God, my life is
Found it.
perfect. Everything's great. This is it. My husband's, he's a chef. His career's unshakable. We had 2 restaurants, all these things. And then everything just came crashing down.
Because of his addiction?
It was
Because of COVID?
because
Combination
of
of
the
lots of things?
alcoholism.
Yeah.
So, it was a really, I feel like our experience is kind of like a unicorn, you know? I think of even how to like put into words. Essentially, we had talked about both of us, maybe drinking too much. It was coming out of COVID, like
Yeah.
COVID,
Yeah.
everyone's like, booze it all day long, baby, let's go.
Yeah.
And
Numbing
then,
out.
yeah,
Yeah. Scary
and some
times.
people stopped and then some didn't. And so, it was something I was totally unaware of, because, we would have cocktails together. And
Yeah.
so, okay, fine. And then, he kind of started to turn yellow. And I was like, that's not good. That's not right, And I'm like, well, he's stressed and he's on some new meds, and okay, we'll just let it be for a moment. And then like a couple of days later, I came home and his eyes had completely turned yellow. I mean, he looked
Just
like death. And I
Yeah.
was like, holy shit, I'm
what's going on?
taking you in. And he was having acute liver failure.
Wow.
Um,
So, Kate and I both have some experience with alcoholism in our close circles, and so we understand this process. And it sounds like he is maybe what we would call such a functional alcoholic that he, even you, his closest partner, were very unaware of like, oh, we all drink, but this isn't to a place of like, extreme until the skin starts to turn yellow. You go in to see the doctor. We're already in acute liver failure.
Yeah.
So then what happened next?
So we went to the ER and they came in and said, you're not going home. You won't be for a long time.
Wow.
We're going to keep him and detox and all of that. It was the worst 10 days of my life
Yeah.
because they wouldn't let me come see him because he was totally delusional. Watching somebody detox
Yeah.
is like watching a live exorcism.
Yeah. Oh, I totally
Yes.
agree.
It is,
It's dark energy that's coming
It
out,
is
right?
evil,
And it's, yeah.
and it is
Yeah.
terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember looking into his eyes and being like, you are a fucking stranger.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah.
And I remember begging the doctor in the hallway, please do not. Because there was some nurse trying to send him home with me. And I'm like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
okay. And I remember just sobbing and begging this doctor and being like, please, like, he can't come home. He's not okay.
Yeah.
You need to understand this is not my husband.
Yeah.
And so they finally,
Yeah.
listened. And
So the gifts you talked about earlier and the intuition, do you feel like the impact of that on you because you're so sensitive to the energy and to the, like, how did you start to feel like you needed to show up in that moment? Or did some of those gifts kind of come in, I guess I want to say handy, but did they start to kind of circle you to be able to move through that time?
I think so. I feel like really that whole experience, and within that experience too, I battled my own,
Sure.
issues with alcohol. And it became very clear to me that my relationship with alcohol was not good anymore.
Yeah.
And, I have a hard time labeling myself as an alcoholic because I could go days without it. I was fine. But then when I did, it was like, woo, sister gang.
Party.
Yeah.
Lynn.
One bottle of wine's good, but 5 has got to be great.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
a little exaggerating. But it became clear to me that my relationship was not healthy.
So
And-
you were being mirrored by what he was going through. Like it was making
Well,
you look at your
yes.
stuff as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing, I feel like, has more of a mirror effect than having somebody
Sure.
very close to you go through something like that. Um, so really, I feel like my intuition, it was almost like the floodgates were finally opened.
Mm,
And it was, me acknowledging my relationship with alcohol and how it really was not healthy. It wasn't helping anything. I was watching it literally physically kill my husband. And so I stopped.
yeah. And the gifts come online when you stop.
And the
Yeah.
veil was ripped off. And it
Yep.
was like, holy shit. Okay, here we go. So, oh,
Game
kind of a
on.
way for me to process the whole situation and what was going on with him is, I tried different therapies and nothing was really sticking. And looking back, it's because I was still dealing with my own battle with alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so these things it just wasn't the right fit. And so again, I found myself in a place where I was like, I just need to go get a reading. I just need to go talk
Mm.
to a medium. I need something. And so I did. And my whole life, people have always said, you can do
You've
this,
got gifts.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, but a martini is so much better than my gifts.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
Alcohol helped numb out all those gifts.
Totally.
yes.
There was probably
'Cause
some fear.
and what that would
So
mean.
there was complete dormancy with them, I would
Mhm.
say. I've always knew that my gut, like I've always known my gut was always right and that,
Yeah.
but I just
Yep.
never really tuned into it.
For knowing how to use them, maybe,
Exactly.
too, right?
Okay, so
Yeah.
you go to this reading.
I know. So I go to this
I'm like on the edge of my chair,
Oh
Dani.
my gosh. She is, amazing. But I went and saw her quite a few times. Like I was going almost like a therapist because it was so healing. And there's something about sitting down with somebody, with a stranger, but their energy feels like home.
Mm.
And then they're able to completely confirm all the
Everything you
things
know inside.
without
Yeah.
even knowing you.
Yeah.
That's how I felt with you.
Agreed.
That's how I felt with you.
Because they can read you so well. It's so deep.
I kept
Yeah.
saying to her afterward, we know each other. Are you related? I was trying to figure out how
Yeah.
surely she knew me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when she came in this morning.
You have that energy. of
We're
just
soul
like,
sisters.
We are. We are. Okay. There's so many directions I want to go.
I know, yeah.
Actually, just have to take a slight brief detour and then we can come back around to this. Can we briefly talk about alcohol?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mhm.
Kate and I have had so many conversations about this. I essentially don't drink anymore. And see that there is a definite dark energy that surrounds it, but it's so a part of our culture. It's so a part of fun times, partying, going out. And it wasn't until I actually started to study shamanism a little bit and learned that they, like a shaman, would never use alcohol because it's the darkest of the medicines. Like it can take you down so quickly. And so for them to be able to stay in a clear space, they avoid it. And then for me to hear your gifts all opened up when you stopped using it, I just want us to have a brief conversation about this because so many of us use alcohol. I mean, I used it for 20 years,
Yeah.
right? So what do you think from your place as someone who's gotten free of it, is also highly intuitive? What is its role or what is its impact on our culture?
It's very clouding. When I stopped, the veil was lifted. It was. And really, it wasn't a veil. It was like a blanket.
A blanket,
Yes, so
yeah,
heavy.
heavy,
Yeah.
thick.
It's heavy. You can't see through it. It's, I feel like there's so many ways we could go about this. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I feel like there's conspiracy theories and there's this and there's that. But yeah, the way that it's portrayed in culture and how it's fun and,
It's almost
Safe.
it's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I find it interesting because I feel like the younger generations are not drinking.
They are not.
Not in the way we did.
Nope, not at all.
Agreed.
And
They know.
I love that.
Me too. Having 20 something kids,
Yeah.
it is true. They do not, they almost reject it.
Yes.
It's like, and it makes me wonder sometimes if it's their seeing the generational
Their
trauma of what it has
did
done
to us. Yeah.
Mhm.
to their parents, to grandparents. Because when you have alcoholism in your family and you're attuned to it, which I wasn't at their age, they're much more attuned to the impact that it's
Yeah.
had
Mhm.
on people that they love. And it's almost like a rejection of wanting to carry that on,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it could be that the world's just so fucking crazy right now that they don't need that added
Yeah.
anxiety.
Are they more evolved? Like they've come in more evolved.
They're
And I
not
think every
covered with
generation
anxiety.
does.
Yeah, the same way.
And so they sort of already know, like, oh, this will take us down. So we're gonna,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's
But it
fascinating.
is such a, we haven't actually said this in an episode. I think it's very honest, and I too have experienced the benefit of removing that blanket
Yeah.
Mhm.
and watching someone, you know, partially myself, but also much more my husband, be able to step into what he's naturally gifted at in a way that he never could before.
When he was using
Yeah.
alcohol.
And so
Yeah.
it makes me feel like, especially for women who have these amazing gifts, we all do, you know, have our own gifts, that there is something to be said for supporting each other in finding clarity and unleashing your gifts
Right.
without that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many people their gifts are being blocked because of those couple glasses of wine that you consume every single night.
Right.
I mean, I don't,
Yeah.
of course we don't know. And there's no judgment around this conversation
No.
because I was one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's very fascinating to me, to hear that your stuff all unlocked when you chose to.
Yeah. And it really did.
Let
I
it
mean,
go.
it was literally like opening up the floodgates. I started seeing spirits. I started.
Okay, so yeah, tell us
Yeah.
what happened. The blanket comes off, and then
It's off, and I'm just like, okay, you know. And again, it's like this is a message I've received multiple times throughout my life. Like, you can do this, right? You know, you've got this gift. You know this. And so finally, I really heard it, and I was like, okay, I do have this. What do I do with it? How do I learn more about it? So, kind of like we were saying earlier, right? Everybody has the ability. Everybody isn't into it. It's it's just what's your strong suit? You know, is it tapping into people who have crossed over? Is it current energy? Is it clairvoyancy? There's so many different ways.
lots of flavor.
Lots of yeah. But it's like a muscle. And so until you learn how to use that muscle, you're not going to know. But that there are classes you can take that are just really like so informational and all about the different tools that you can use to kind of help you figure out your way and how you like to operate, what is a strong connection for you, what's not. So I put myself into these classes to just kind of dig a little deeper. And the medium who taught them, she ended up kind of becoming my mentor for a little bit to kind of just help guide me because we went, I did her class and I went to a makeup class because I had to miss one. It was me and another gal. And so we were kind of just it was beautiful, honestly. It ended up being just like a very intimate 3-person reading almost. And so she was reading her and doing her thing. And then she kind of stops and she's like, okay, Dani. And she pauses for just a moment. And then she just opens her eyes and looks at me and she goes, you are a medium. Start doing it now.
Oh, pretty clear.
Wow.
And I was like, shit. Okay.
Drop the mic.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a medium, let's define that, is that you literally can talk to people who've crossed over to the other side.
Yes.
And a psychic is more, how would you define psychic versus medium?
Are honestly, it's interchangeable.
Okay.
I feel like psychic has a lot of,
Yeah.
connotation. Like it's very like circus act kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't like. But when I tell people I'm a medium, they kind of look at me and they're like, no, I think you're a large. No, I'm just kidding. people don't understand it. And so I found it was a lot harder for me to try to explain it every time than then just, I kind of feel my crowd.
Yeah.
If I know I have to say psychic, I say psychic. But
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
prefer to be known as an intuitive medium.
But when you do a reading, are you in general tapping into ancestors or dead loved ones as a way to bring information to the person you're reading?
Yes.
Okay.
So I connect with my spirit guides, and then they help me bring in people.
Mm.
And I can see, hear, and feel things in my readings. So I connect with people who've passed over, but then I can also really connect to current energy as well.
Mm.
And so it's nice because it tends to blend a lot. A lot of the times somebody will come in to kind of kickstart off a session, and then it's just like, ooh, we end up on this like wild roller coaster. And then by the end of the session, they're like, oh my God, what just happened?
Can I share something?
Please.
Yeah. When you did my reading, you don't know this, I don't think. Maybe I did tell you since I've seen you since then. But in my reading, a lot of my relatives showed up that had passed. And one of the last things you told me was they're trying to send a message to you. She said, I don't want to alarm you. You actually told me after other people had left. Don't want to alarm you, but there's something about health. And I don't know what type of health issue, but there was kind of this warning they wanted you to know. That was right before Christmas, if you remember.
Yep.
And I went home to my parents for Christmas, and my mom said, I'm not feeling very well. And I said, I think we need to get you in sooner. Because that was kind of at the back of my mind, too. Like, I listened. I trusted her intuition about herself. And
Your
I
mom's
said,
intuition.
you got to trust this, Mom. We need to get in sooner to the doctor. I took her to a cardiologist on January 6th. She had open heart surgery on the 11th, and it saved her life. And so I think about that often, that I think that
if Dani hadn't maybe planted that little seed, you might not have been as concerned about, Mom, we got to get on this.
Because it really opened my own intuition, like my belief in intuition.
Yeah.
And you planted that seed that, I wasn't obsessing about it, but looking back now, I mean, it allowed me to encourage her. And I know now, and the doctors know now, had she not gone in sooner, her appointment was late February, she would not have made it. So I just I wanted you to know that, because I think sometimes we think things are just about reconnecting to the past, but that actually impacted the now for me.
And the future.
And the future.
You can make me cry.
Wow.
Yeah.
So also your intention, Dani, of like, I just want to help people. I want to make a difference. I mean, look at there's a
Right there.
saved someone's life through your capacities.
Yeah.
Wow, ladies.
I couldn't remember if I had told you that, but yeah, that was an after ripple.
It's powerful.
Of that.
Okay, so you've been doing this for a couple years, and I guess I want to know, like, how has it changed you to be such a channel and to allow? I mean, are you like this moment we just had of like, holy crap, did that right? Like, how has it changed you to be in such alignment with this bigger source energy?
It's made my life incredible. I finally, for the first time, know my purpose.
Yeah.
And that was something I really struggled with for a really long time.
You're tearing up.
I am.
So beautiful.
Knowing my purpose has been a huge piece of it. It's just opened up my world so much, and it's forced me, yet allowed me to be vulnerable with myself and with other people. And it has opened up so many doors. I think when you truly start living your life in alignment, I don't even have words.
You don't have to force things so much. They just show up.
They just happen.
Yeah.
And, I feel like today is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Why did this door open?
Yeah.
Well, this would have never opened if I was still counting numbers.
Mhm.
We're still a bud tender.
We're still a bud tender. You know, so
Yeah.
it's just more of a feeling.
Yeah.
Like really
Yeah.
opening me up to feeling.
And your energy says all that. Like when you walk in a room,
Mhm.
when I'm around you, like you just feel like you stand in your power
Mhm.
in a way, but in a very warm,
Soft
way.
Yeah.
You have this soft strength that comes through. I mean, both in your work, but just personally
Mm.
having gotten to know you, which is really,
Thank you.
yeah, it's true.
I'm swallowing it.
Mm. I'm curious, as we're all sitting here, like, are there some messages to come through, whether it's for Kate or for me, or even just for the listeners? Because I think we set that intention early on that we all just sort of be open to whatever needs to come through. And I hope I'm not preaching.
No. I just want to connect.
But I'm like, what needs to be spoken?
Yeah.
And maybe it's for our producer or the dog that's lying on the floor or
My buddy. Let me kind of drop in here for a minute and kind of see what comes through. So I feel like this is definitely coming through as more of a collective message, right? There's so much chaos going on in our world right now. And it's so easy to get swept up into it. And I think it's really important for people to know and remember that you can be aware of what's going on in the world, but you don't have to let that negativity affect you. And the best thing you can do for the collective is to continue to just pulsate love and peace and the energy that we want to see in the world. I think that's one of the most incredible rebellious acts you can do.
Agreed.
Without harming anyone, only bringing good. And I think it's super important for people to remember that. To be cognitive of the energy that they're consuming. Because energy is everything.
Yeah, it is.
And there's so much I feel like that can actually be done and that can happen if we are able to raise the collective energy.
Yes, I agree.
Its own form of activism.
It
in
is,
some ways.
and so I feel like there's just like energetic war going on right now.
I agree. The dark and the light.
Dark and the light.
Yeah.
And this has been talked about for years.
In every ancient text.
Yes. And so many people have brought this up in premonition and we're living it.
Yeah, we are.
And so I think it's just, honestly, it's just this message of just stay strong in what you know and what you feel. That, this is a horrifically dark time.
Yeah. But we all chose to be here.
That's right.
And we're here for a purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
Which makes that idea of connecting with your purpose that much more important, right?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
We're all needed.
Yeah. So I think just stepping into that, step into your power because you are fucking powerful.
And that's what you've done.
Yes.
I mean, I'm seeing that. Like,
out of a very dark time.
One of the darkest times, the blanket lifted and you stepped up and you're okay, all in.
Yeah.
And you're trying to channel those forms of light and love and vibrate that out. For those listeners out there that are like, okay, that sounds great, but this is bad going on in my life and this is falling apart in our country. And like, what are the practices you do to make sure you're aligned with love and light and your guides and
positive energy?
I think one of the greatest things that came out of my, tragic event, if you will, is my change of perception. Perception's everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can look at all these horrible things and just see that. Or you can see it and know that, okay, there's a purpose behind what's happening. And I believe that the purpose is to push our collective energy into a greater, lighter place. But things kind of have to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
I think a big part for me and how I've really managed to change my perception on how I see things that happen. Things don't happen to me, they happen for me. There's a lesson in everything, in everything. Even in the darkest, most horrific thing, there's a lesson in that. And I don't know if it's necessarily always a logical lesson. You know, I think sometimes it's a feeling. Sometimes it's I don't know, just a quiet thought that kind of goes through your mind. But for me, it was just really like the belief in knowing and trust that the universe has my back. You know, I traded in my rosary for woo woo, and I'm all in. So
It's working for you.
it is. Yeah, it is.
And don't you think it's the same source? I mean, that would sound blasphemous to some people, but
It would. Yes. Yeah.
Still
But
source.
it's
No, there's source.
yeah. There's so many manifestations of it, and so many
Exactly.
ways to access it.
So many things, and everybody calls it something different.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's this line where it's like, you know, well, you call it praying, I call it manifesting. And it's like, we are all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just has different names.
Yep. Many paths up the mountain is what I was saying.
Yeah.
And none of them are wrong.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So whatever it is, if it's religion, if it's astrology, if it's woo,
Mm-hmm.
as long as there's good intention,
But those
I think we
practices
can
can
all-
help
they-
us right now too.
they
right? Is
can.
that what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, just practicing gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
gratitude and perception. I mean, those were really the two, I would say, biggest game changers for me. And meditation.
Yeah.
Meditation
Yeah.
is
Getting quiet.
that was, you know, if somebody was like, well, what was the first step that you did after everything fell apart and you decided you were going to quit drinking? Like, what did you do? It's like, well, I went and saw a psychic and I started meditating.
Yeah. I've heard meditation, it is like, it opens everything.
It's
And
incredible.
it's for me too. I've been a
Yeah.
daily meditator for a decade, and it's changed everything for me.
Yeah. And it's hard.
Yeah.
It is so
commitment and it's work.
hard. And I find like right now, I'm kind of out of the flow of it. And you know, I try really hard because I'm like, oh, you should be meditating. Like, yeah, you've fallen out of your routine. And I kind of get into this like old me of really like beating myself up for this. And then it's like, no. Girl, shut up. Okay, you're fine. It is fine. It's an ebb and flow.
Yeah.
It's going to come back when it needs to.
It's funny. I just had this conversation with my husband last night. We were talking, and I said I feel the call of it, like, because I said I've got to get back to it. But for me, it's the call. Like I feel it calling me.
Yeah.
So when you get out of
powerful.
that practice, it's like instead of beating myself up, I'm like, nope, it's just calling me back.
Yeah.
That's what I
It's
need.
not judging
No,
us.
I
Like
love that.
that
Yes.
source never judges.
No.
I don't believe it does.
I don't either.
Which is so different than what we were raised as these good little
Yes.
church-going girls, which is there is judgment, there's a wrong way to do things.
Guilt,
And I don't
shame.
think there's a wrong way to do things. I think
No.
there's lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is a chance to learn. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to kind of circle us back to before we ask the final question, maybe of just how is your husband? How is your relationship? And then how are you also both tapping into your gifts collectively? Because I have a little insight into that. And I feel like there's some
Yeah.
beauty in sharing that with people.
He's doing great. So, you know, again, like I said, I feel like our situation, it was kind of like an anomaly because he wasn't like your traditional alcoholic. You know what I mean? After going to see like an addiction specialist and kind of seeing therapists and going that route as opposed to doing like the AA route, it really kind of uncovered like the root of this is the alcohol. It's the fact that, you know, you're an Army veteran. You have PTSD that's never been dealt with. You have stress and OCD and, you know, all these things like that. You were just self-medicating that.
Mhm.
And so I am so grateful. Like it's not an ongoing battle. There's no desire to drink and it's not something I have to worry about.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, I thank my lucky stars that that's our situation because I've gone to, you know, I tried going to Al-Anon when everything first happened and I was like, this isn't the right group for me. Like these are people who've been coming here for years and their partners are still actively drinking. You know, I'm like, my guy's trying to not die. Like,
Yeah.
read about him, going to
Yeah.
the car.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for that. It has changed our relationship in so many ways, but in so many really beautiful ways. It's brought us a lot closer.
Yeah.
There's not much you can hide after something like that
Yeah.
happens. So it's really, I think it's brought us closer together than ever before.
Mm.
We should say you have a daughter.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
How old is she?
She'll be 9 on the 25th.
Mm.
And is an only
She
as
is.
well.
Yes. Keeping the traditional.
I know.
Right. That's right.
So, do you want the last question, Dani, before you tell listeners where to find you and
How to work with you.
I don't want to end. I don't want
I
this.
know. As I was talking to her, I'm like, okay, we either have to make this a 2-part or we just have to bring her back because there's so many more questions and I want her to do more readings and I want her
I
to
can
pull
be
back
your
in.
monthly medium.
I think that would be
Monthly medium with Dani. Yeah. Okay.
Let's do
Done
it.
deal. It's going to happen.
I love it.
Because I do think what I've noticed too, because I've been in the world of woo for a while as well,
Yeah.
but also as a scientist and liking to balance all of this out. But I just think people are so much more open and interested and curious and seeking. And I think once people really put it together and be like, oh, you're a really normal person and you just happen to be able to talk to my dead uncle.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's suddenly not strange. It's not like the crazy gypsy woman in the dark room.
Right.
It's like, oh, she's a normal person. She brings her kid to school. She goes to the grocery store, right? Like it crosses the border of like, oh, people are really curious about this. So I do want to keep bringing this.
I would
content
love
to
it.
people.
Yes.
You
I would love
got
to.
yourself a job, Dani. Talk
My
about
dreams are coming
manifestation
true.
happening.
So great.
That's great. All right. Well, before we share where to find you,
Yes.
you are Dani Worrell, a wild woman.
She clearly busted out of a lot of boxes.
And are so in touch with the wild woman archetype. She comes through you. Like I just feel it.
Yeah.
So thank you for being so vulnerable with your story and your path to getting there, which was not easy and came later, as it does for many of us.
Midlife has the way of cracking us open.
Right.
She's whispering for a long time and
The awakening.
Yeah.
But I would like to know for you that key door that maybe really took you into that place. So if you have an old story, that is a door. If you have a deep scar, that is a door. If you love the sky and the water so much you can almost not bear it, that is a door. If you yearn for a deeper life, full life, a sane life, that is a door. So is there one or more doors that you feel drawn to?
I have 2 doors.
Okay.
2 doors for sure. So I feel like for me and my spirituality and kind of that door busting open is the sky and the sea, for sure. In that same breath, though, I feel like the old story door, it really sticks out to me. And I want to just share this quick little story because this is why that one really sticks out. After everything happened with my husband, I brought him to see my medium with me, and we did a joint session.
Beautiful.
And we did, kind of just some past life regression and just kind of just this thing to do together. And, she told us that we have been part of each other's lives for multiple lifetimes. We've always been together. And that he has always tragically left me in every lifetime. And she gave examples, and it was just like the minute she started like telling these stories, like I could see it, in my mind's eye. And so for that one, I'm like, okay, I feel like that story.
Feeling this.
You are.
Yes. And in that same session, she told us, she's like, you're here to break cycles. So I'm like, I saved your life. We broke the cycle, baby.
Yeah.
So
Old story. You're creating a new one.
Yeah.
You are.
Which means then your daughter doesn't have to carry that story on.
Yes.
Mhm.
What a gift that is to her.
Mhm.
yeah.
So how, Dani, can people find you, work with you?
Yes.
They're going to find her on our podcast because
yeah.
clearly we're
Oh
going
my
to have. Yes, but
Yeah. So I'm actually in the process of doing a total rebrand right now. So my website or anything isn't quite ready yet. So if you want to contact me, practicalalignment@gmail.com. If you want to set up a session, I do in-person and virtual sessions. So
are they like hour-long sessions?
45 minutes or 90 minutes.
Okay,
So
cool.
2 options with that. But then alongside, like, there's all sorts of other services.
I
Like,
know, share those because we didn't even get into the organizing, clearing
Yeah.
people's space, which you do too.
I do, yeah. So with the intuitive stuff, we can do sessions. I do energy cleansing in people's homes and places of business, but then organizing. And so I do physical cleansing as well. And again, that just kind of fell into my lap because I like to help people. And I was on the 1 Year, 1 Fear podcast, and a friend heard it and she contacted Kara and was like, she needs to be an organizer.
So I love those stories when women see things in other women and they're not afraid to say, I see you and I
want to help you bring this forward.
Yeah.
And it seems like actually such a beautiful combination because as an intuitive, you literally are clearing energy. You are tapping into energy, and spaces hold so much energy, good, bad, or neutral.
Yep.
And so for you to be able to go in and clear that out is huge.
Yeah. And it's funny, it was something I really struggled with in the beginning. Like, how do I tell people
I think it's
I'm a psychic and an organizer?
No, I think it goes together so perfectly.
But it really
It
does.
really
Like,
works.
now that I've been in it and doing it, I'm like, all right, this is
the through line.
it's the through line. So
Yeah. Well, this has been so much fun.
I could literally sit here
I
for
know.
3 more hours. I don't know if our guests could, but I'm like, can we just talk more? I have so many questions.
Oh my
So
gosh,
clearly you're
let's do
coming
it.
back.
So we are having you back. But thank you today for today.
Oh.
It was just
thank you.
Magical.
I mean, this is literally my manifestation coming true.
I know. And that is, we love to be a part
Best
of that.
day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dani. Thanks for joining us today. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review. Come back and rewild with us again next week.